So welcome back to the second case for this week of Fair for Friday. In this case, we're going to be going to Arizona, actually, or I guess back to Arizona. I don't think I've ever covered. If I have, I haven't done it in a while. Otherwise, I feel like I wouldn't remember off the top of my head. And so this case is actually, it was a cold case at one point, but of course it is obviously solved. Hence, otherwise I would not cover this case. And so it definitely has a bunch of crazy twists. Especially with how the hell our killer was able to be out on the street so long. And so with that being said, let's go and get started.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, maybe you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed. Think you're something out of my nightmares, standing right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored of killing?
I would normally start with our killer, but our killer doesn't even have a date of birth. At least that's one that's not publicly known. But as of right now, she said to be about 51 years old. So there's that. Well, as of 2023, she said to be 51 years old. So we're going to go to July of 1988. Our killer, Shelly, okay, so she maiden name was, I guess, Shelly Norgard. But we're going to refer to her as Shelly, because that's what seems easier, for me. She, I guess, eventually meets this woman named Pamela Pitts. And so Pamela was born on June 25th, 1969 on an Air Force base in Michigan. In July of 1988, so I guess Pam's like 19 when this happens, I think. Pam and Shelly become roommates, so they move out of their parents' house and get their own little place, like best friends do. And in August of 1988, so the following month, she would meet a former partner by the name of Bobby Kitchener. So then they start rekindling their relationship and they start talking again. And then, of course, things were going good. Except you have Shelly, who was upset they couldn't afford the rent. So they had to have another roommate come in named Jeremy Anderson. And so then on September 16th, 1988, it is believed that Shelly was looking for Pam because she was pissed about her wanting to move back in with her parents. So she had even told people that she would kill Pam if she found her. Police believe that Pam had told people about a pregnancy that Shelly had. And I couldn't see if that was confirmed or not. But as you can imagine, that would be very scandalous because, I guess not that scandalous, but it'll be somewhat scandalous because this is the 80s and she's not married. So Shelly would call Pam's parents' house and ask if they knew who she was. It is believed on this day that Pam was killed. And so we're going to assume on September 16th that Pam was killed. And so then 5 days after it was believed she was dead, so the 21st, Pam's father had apparently called her job and they said they hadn't seen her or heard from her. So then police went to the apartment and Shelly answered the door. When a search was done, her purse, medicine, and license were still there. So obviously, that's a red flag. And when asking Shelly if she knew anything, she said that Pam was probably out partying. And so she would even mention that they had shared a bank account to pay the rent. And she said that she had put in her part, but Pam emptied the account and basically tried to say Pam basically, left. So then on September 29th, Pam's body is found and her body is burnt in on top of a pile of trash. The person that found her body had to go find the nearest payphone and call 911 because remember, this is before cell phones and it was 1988. Police identified the body as Pam only due to dental records. So apparently that's how bad she was burnt. And they then asked Shelly and Jeremy where they are on the night of September 16th, because they are her roommates, since that was the night that anyone had claimed to see Pam even alive. So then Jeremy said that he was at a football game and hung out with friends afterwards. So apparently I guess that was confirmed to be true because we never heard anything about Jeremy ever again. And so Shelly said that she worked that night, then went and picked up her boyfriend, Ray Clerks. Now, Ray is an important figure in the story, sadly, and you will see later down why. And so Ray Clerks was born on July 26, 1966. She claims that she hung out with her boyfriend, Ray, Dawn, John, and Terry, despite not knowing Dawn, John, and Terry's last names. So then this was until 2:30 a.m., according to her. And so they asked Ray, and he said he was. They then asked him to take a polygraph test, to which he passes with flying colors, apparently. So then Shelly is, not even arrested for the murder of Pam, even though she's kind of suspected to be Pam's killer, if that makes sense. And so, as a shocking twist, on May 25th, 1991, Ray's body would be found shot in the head in a mine. So Ray is now dead, too. So the entire marks on the scene matched a pickup truck recently purchased by Shelly. They, of course, are going to go interview her and did a search for her home. And blood was found, of course, and the smell of death was noticeable when smelling her when approaching her car. They found blood in the car that was the same as Ray's, A gun is found under the front seat of the car, and of course it is the same gun used to kill Ray. And then of course 2 years later, Shelly admits that she killed Ray. She would say that she killed him while he was watching planes on the car roof, which I don't even know how that would work, but okay. And so then Shelly is sentenced to 20 years with no parole. She gets credit for 2 years already served, so in reality she only served like 18. So she was to be released in 2011, and it is said that she was actually released in 2011. And so then for some reason, the police decide to wait until towards the end when she's about to release to see if she confesses to killing Pam, because Pam's murder is still technically unsolved. Well, obviously, at this point we know who did it, but the police are like, they don't have evidence yet. So then on a recorded phone call with her father while in prison, her father brings up the night that, like, you know, like, do you know anything? Were you involved? Stuff like that. So then Shelly kind of confesses that she had a moment and she kind of snapped. So pretty much that was all the police needed to arrest Shelly for Pam's murder. And so apparently in the time that she was out of prison, she had moved to Carson City, got married, had her last name changed to Harmon, which is why you search her name up on the internet, she pulls up as Shelly Harmon, because she got married. And she had managed rental properties, bookkeeping, and taxes. And she never filed as a felon, which apparently is required in Nevada. So, because I'm pretty sure if you file as a felon, she wouldn't be able to even half the things she even did. So, there you go. So then she of course is arrested for the murder of Pam. A while later, Pam's family decide that if you tell us what happened, that she can be released with credit for the 20 years you already served for Ray's death, which I didn't even know you could do that, but apparently you can. And so then Shelly would confess that she killed Pam at the trial, because of course you were already getting out regardless. And she would explain that she was upset because the checking account was withdrawn, and what pushed her over was that Pam wanted to move and Shelly couldn't afford to rent her own. Even though I thought at that point Jeremy was already living there, but I guess he was planning on moving too. I don't know. So then she goes out looking for Pam and finds her and confronts her. They start fighting, with Shelly eventually overpowering Pam. Then she heard voices and left. No other details were given, and the family wasn't allowed to ask questions. And because Shelly took the plea deal, she's out with the credit for 20 years she took for killing Ray. So yeah, Shelly's just out and about living her life right now in her 50s, but she living her life. So, married, it said she had a kid. I don't even know if that's even true or not, but it is confirmed she apparently is still married. So, with that being said, that is the case of Shelly Harmon. If you know any cases that took like decades to solve, even though the killer could have been arrested a lot sooner, definitely let me know. And I'll see you fans in the next one. Bye.
So if I play dead, will you regret everything that you did, that you said? I don't think you understand what you're doing, and my heart's black and blue from the bruising. I feel like when I'm with you I'm losing. I feel like you think that this amusing, sitting there gaslighting and confusing. Was it me? Is it me? Am I deluded? I'm the one who's always sorry, the conclusion.